Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, we're actually going to be diving deep into the realm of chaos theory as told by Dr. Ian Malcolm. The information that this video goes over will be taken directly from the original Michael Crichton book, and it happens to be one of the most famous pieces of dialogue from that first novel. Today, we're going to be talking about the complex systems surrounding Jurassic Park. That initial Jurassic Park book contains one of the most memorable and resonating character speeches out of any work of science fiction, and unironically, it happens to come from the King of Chaos himself, Dr. Malcolm. Towards the end of the book, Ian's health begins to take a turn for the worse. After being injured during the Tyrannosaur attack, he'd been given high amounts of morphine by Jerry Harding in order to relax the pain. This caused a great deal of delirium to take over the chaotician, and the rants that he'd go on during this time were arguably some of his greatest. One particular discussion happens to center itself around the folly of man and his ability to annihilate life on Earth. In the chapter titled Destroying the World, Malcolm becomes enraged after Hammond declares that a disaster has been averted. He'd commented on how lucky they all were that none of the animals got out and overran the entire planet. Malcolm had this to say. Let me tell you about our planet. Our planet is 4.5 billion years old. There's been life on this planet for nearly that long. 3.8 billion years. The first bacteria, and later the first multicellular animals, then the first complex creatures in the sea, on the land, then the great sweeping ages of animals, the amphibians, the dinosaurs, the mammals, each lasting millions upon millions of years, great dynasties of creatures arising, flourishing, dying away. All this happening against a background of continuous and violent upheaval. Mountain ranges thrust up and eroded away, cometary impacts, volcanic eruptions, oceans rising and falling, whole continents moving, endless constant and violent change. Even today, the greatest geographical feature on the planet comes from two great continents colliding, buckling to make the Himalayan mountain range over millions of years. The planet has survived everything in its time. It will certainly survive us. Suppose there was a radiation accident, let's say we had a bad one, and all the plants and animals died, and the Earth was clicking hot for 100,000 years. Life would survive somewhere, under the soil or perhaps frozen in Arctic ice. And after all those years, when the planet was no longer inhospitable, life would again spread over the planet. The evolutionary process would begin again. It might take a few billion years for life to regain its present variety, and of course it would be quite different from what it is now. But the Earth would survive our folly. Life would survive our folly. Only we think it wouldn't. My point is that life on Earth can take care of itself. In the thinking of a human being, 100 years is a long time. 100 years ago we didn't have cars and airplanes and computers and vaccines. It was a whole different world. But to the Earth, 100 years is nothing. 1,000,000 years is nothing. This planet lives and breathes on a much vaster scale. We can't imagine its slow and powerful rhythms, and we haven't got the humility to try. We have been residents here for the blink of an eye. If we are gone tomorrow, the Earth will not miss us. Let's be clear, the planet is not in jeopardy. We are in jeopardy. We haven't got the power to destroy the planet, or to save it, but we might have the power to save ourselves. Malcolm's lesson to Hammond has been quoted time and time again by many people who have loved the book, and I think the main reason why that happens to be is because 1, it's written so damn good, and 2, because it perfectly comments on the very nature of chaos itself. This general overview of life is one of the most intriguing things you'll find in the novel, and the words on the page can be applied to any aspect of our lives, no matter how major or minor we may think of them. Despite the vast amount of warnings Malcolm gave the old man on why Jurassic Park was a bad idea, he acknowledges the fact that even in a worst-case scenario, John's dinosaur theme park dream would never destroy the planet. It is vain to even think of such a thing. Now, in reality, what it could do is challenge man's position as dominant form of life on Earth, just as that control had been challenged and overthrown there on Isla Nublar. Malcolm's assertion that we as a species would be in jeopardy as opposed to the planet itself is quite eye-opening. For me personally, it made me think about the tiny variables that may or may not come into my everyday life. What-if scenarios and probable outcomes start pouring into your head, and before you know it, you're overthinking whether or not it's a good idea to watch a movie. If you're interested in diving deeper into what Jurassic Park is all about, and you want to get some insight into what exactly all of the movies mean, I would highly recommend reading that first book. Trust me, you'll never look at this story the same way again. Now, before I go, I want to thank my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. It means the world to me that you guys enjoy what I do so much, and I seriously am eternally grateful for every ounce of support that you've shown me. I could never say thank you enough. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and hope that you all enjoy today's content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like, and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.